So, okay, get that out of the way. So let me make some announcements of what has taken place today as far as executive session. And I do apologize because we are now at 2:30 and we had originally scheduled this to end at 1, but we also had said that we would get into general session around 10. So I do apologize, but things are happened outside of my control. So this is what's happened inside of executive session for all to know. So one, the board has taken legal action to deal with the occupation of our SEIU Local 1000 headquarters in Sacramento. We have, the board has also taken action to ratify the action of the 3 vice presidents suspending President Brown from the office of his, from the duties of presidency. The board has authorized policy file language to add a professional neutral hearing officer to the verbiage that was already existing regarding hearing officers and regarding hearing officers. We have, I'm sorry. I also wanted to start off by just letting everybody know that all board members are safe in spite of all the chaos and what's going on at headquarters. Everybody is safe. We've also taken action to hire contract with a 24-hour security firm regarding our headquarters in Sacramento. So those are the announcements from today's executive session. Before we go any further, but we do have an action item. I should also announce that we initially had, 2 items on the agenda for general session. The board in executive session moved to move item A into executive session, and that was voted on. That was actually one of the things I just reported on that was voted on in executive session. So we still have item B on the agenda. And I do see some hands, so I probably, because I did not call this meeting to order. I hope that this meeting is called to order. Let me go ahead and let me just finish up one last thing that I wanted to add. Because we have some major concerns with board members being able to access this meeting via Zoom because of power outages and everything that's been going on today. If there's no challenge, I move that we end this meeting and reconvene in 7 to 10 days. Okay, I see a bunch of activity, so we'll go ahead and start with Theresa Taylor. Go ahead and unmute Theresa Taylor.
Okay, I just want to be really clear, you guys. We always call roll when we're bringing the board to session. And we have not done that. I want roll call. You don't just call the meeting to order and don't call roll. We need to establish that there is a quorum and it can't just be via the video screen. That's number 1. Number 2, I adamantly say no to adjourning this session.
Noted, thank you. Let us go ahead and take roll. I'll start with DLC presidents. DLC 701, Lisa Davis. DLC President 701, Lisa Davis. Moving on.
Scott wants to.
Yeah, I think the parliamentarian wants to say something.
Go ahead, Scott,
Yes.
you're unmuted.
That's fine. What I was trying to do is get you to take roll because at the time I was trying to get recognized, I could tell you did not have a quorum. But a couple of other people have gotten in, so you may have a quorum. So go proceed with your roll call.
We had the quorum. That's bullshit.
Okay. We're going forward. DLC 702, Gertrude Davis. Nisi.
DLC 702, Gertrude Davis, present.
Thank you. DLC 703, Jason Sandoval.
Jason Sandoval, DLC 703, present.
DLC 704, President Latasha Brown.
DLC 704, present.
DLC 705, Miche Roy. DLC 705, President Miche Roy. DLC President 706, Olivia Montano.
Olivia Montano, DLC 706, present.
Thank you. President, DLC 703, President Carol Leonardo Valdez.
DLC 707, Carol Leonardo Valdez, present.
Thank you. DLC 710, President Naomi Musembi Johnson. DLC 710, President Naomi Musembi Johnson. Okay, DLC 721, President Robert Gilbert.
Present.
Present. Thank you. DLC 722, President Maria Blaine.
Maria Blaine, DLC 722, present.
Thank you. DLC 723, President Stephen Alari.
Stephen O'Leary, DLC 723, present. Mr. Chair, would you also announce that all actions taken in closed session were unanimous?
I forgot to mention that. Thank you. Noted. All actions taken in closed session were unanimous. 724, President DeLeon Seacrest.
DeLeon Seacrest, 724, present.
DLC 725, President Misty Del Rosario.
Misty Del Rosario, President 725, present.
Thank you. DLC 726, President Charity Regalado. Oh, I think she's excused. Can't remember for sure. Charity Regalado, President, DLC 726, are you on? Okay, moving on. I think DLC 727, President Linda Martin. DLC 727, President Linda Martin. DLC 729, President Nancy Martinez.
Excused.
Excused. DLC 741, President Monica Rodriguez. Monica Rodriguez, President DLC 741, are you there? Okay. DLC 742, President Cynthia VO.
DLC 742, Cynthia VO, present.
Okay, DLC 743, President John Turok. DLC 743, President John Turok. DLC 7.
He doesn't have access, but that's kind of his fault, so.
Okay, DLC 744, President William Bill Hall.
DLC 744, Bill Hall, present.
DLC 746, President Joycelyn Odom.
746, Joycelyn Odom, here.
Thank you. DLC 747, President Ramon Navarrete. DLC 747, President Ramon Navarrete.
I'm sorry, I was talking and I didn't unmute myself. District Labor Council, 747, Ramon Navarrete, present.
Thank you. DLC 749, President Jerome Washington.
DLC 749, Jerome Washington, present.
DLC 751, President Christina Ebbett.
DLC 751, Christina Ebbett, president. I'm present.
DLC 752, President Kevin Healy.
Good afternoon. At the call of two or more board members, present, 752.
DLC 761, President Angelique Moreno. Angelique Moreno, President 761. 762, DLC President Donette Sparkman. Donette Sparkman, President DLC 762. Okay, DLC 764, President Jennifer Cordova.
Jennifer Cordova, DLC 764 here.
Thank you. DLC 765, President Leonard Seitz.
765, Leonard Seitz, present.
Thank you. DLC 766, President Sharonda Ward.
766, President Sharonda Ward here.
DLC 767, President Benjamin Arriaga.
DLC presidents for DLC 767, Benjamin Arriaga here at the request of 2 or more board members.
Thank you. DLC 768, President Cheryl Allen. DLC 768, President Cheryl Allen. DLC 769, President Daryl Kirby. DLC 769, President Daryl Kirby. Okay. DLC 770, President Nicole Skolovskoy. DLC 770, President Nicole Solovskoy. Okay, DLC 771, President Tommy Rico.
DLC 771, President Tommy Rico, present.
Thank you. DLC 772, President Mary Dela Cruz. Mary Dela Cruz, President 772. DLC 781, President Huang Van Nguyen.
DLC President Huang Van Nguyen, present.
DLC 782, President David Johnson. DLC 782, President David Johnson. DLC 784, President Colin Crowell. Thank you. DLC 785, President Wanda Yanez. She's traveling.
President 785, Wanda Yanez, present.
Thank you. Okay, DLC 786, President Theresa Taylor.
Theresa Taylor and Donette Sparkman lost her connection. So you might want to call her name again.
Oh, she was a no one? Okay, let's go ahead. Well, are you on there, Donette, so I could recall 762 Donette Sparkman?
DLC 762, Donette Sparkman, present.
Okay. Okay. Now back to the list. Wanda, Teresa, DLC 787, President Ruth Ibarra.
DLC 787, Ruth Ibarra, present.
Thank you. DLC 788, President Heather Kessler.
DLC 788, Heather Kessler, present.
DLC 789, President Eileen Bogdan. President DLC 789, President Eileen Bogdan. Okay, DLC 790, President Cindy Doyle. Oh, she's excused. DLC 792, President Jack Dean. DLC 792, President Jack Dean. DLC 793, President David Smith.
DLC 793, David Smith, present.
Okay. Thank you. DLC 794, President Francina Stevenson.
DLC 794, Francina Stevenson, present.
DLC 795, President Ruth Kiker.
DLC 795, Ruth Kiker, President.
DLC 799, President Delon Johnson. 799, President Delon Johnson. Okay, DLC 850, President Kerri Riley.
DLC 850, Kerri Riley, present.
Okay, bunk chairs. They're not in, they're in order by, I'm not sure what order they're in, but they're not in order by number. So just when you hear your name, unmute yourself. Bunk chair Vanessa C. Strong.
Vanessa C. Strong, bargaining unit 17, present.
Thank you. Robert Bob Holtz, chair. Chair Bob Holtz. Okay, Chair Eric Murray. Chair James Brad Willis.
Unit 11 Chair Brad Willis here.
Thank you. Chair Melissa Vartanian. Chair Melissa Vartanian. Chair Susan Rodriguez.
Susan Rodriguez, Chair of Unit 1, present.
Okay, Chair Bobby Roy.
Unit 21 Chair Bobby Roy, present.
Chair Karen Jeffries.
Bargaining unit 4, Chair Karen Jeffries, present.
Chair Robert Vega. Chair Robert Vega. Chair Andrew Vasek. Chair Andrew Vasek. Okay. Officers. Statewide officers, Vice President Organizing Representation, Annika Walls.
Present.
Vice President for Bargaining, Irene Green.
She's still.
She's not, yeah. Yeah, she's indisposed. So Vice President, Secretary Treasurer, David Jimenez, present. President Richard Brown. President Richard Brown. Okay.
David, I kept count. You have 40 directors present. You have a quorum.
Okay. And I, apologize for not taking the roll call at the very beginning. So we'll go ahead and announcement. The same announcements apply, but let me reiterate that any points of orders or points of information shall be directed to the parliamentarian Scott Burns. Please text him. Oh, no. Sorry, that was executive session. We're not putting out his phone number for this. So we just have the 2-minute rolls for speakers, and please keep your cameras on. Be respectful to each other, and yeah, as I was saying before, Irene and others are, well, Irene is tied up at the headquarters dealing with this ordeal. And so she's doing her duties, right? And then there's a very likely chance that other board members in the Sacramento area cannot get on because of a power outage, which we were just. Oh, it's in the LA area?
Yes, it's in the LA area.
Oh, sorry. So there's a power outage in the LA area that is likely affecting some people from getting onto this, some board members from getting onto this meeting. So we'll go ahead and put it for discussion, or we'll go to the list. Bill Hall, you're recognized.
Yeah, I move agenda item B.
Okay, it's been seconded. Okay, let's clear. So go ahead and speak on the motion, Bill.
Thank you, David.
Second, David, before Bill speaks, I think we need some, parliamentarian would like some clarification, just so I know how to proceed here. It's unclear to me whether the motion is to ratify the action in October or whether it's being reintroduced for action as if the October meeting had not occurred.
This is a ratification vote.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, Bill, go ahead.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Scott. So yes, I'm requesting ratification of the actions that the board took at the October 17th meeting. I think that the transaction of today only serves to strengthen the argument of decentralizing power, creating checks and balances, and moving the majority of the authority for the operation of the organization to the board. The chair, as set up, has only the authority that the board gives the chair. The board retains much of the authority of the president. The chair is only authorized to act on what the board authorizes. So the idea here is to create checks and balances, move the organization to a place where Mr. Brown or someone like him can never hijack Local 1000 again. I think this is appropriate. I've felt this way for many, many years. This is not a completely new thought for me. And I have talked with other board members in the past about making these kind of changes. So I strongly urge and ask the board to ratify the work that was done in October. And thank you, David.
Next, we have Theresa Taylor.
Thought I unmuted myself. I seconded the motion. I do want to affirm what Bill said, but also the organization is in a crisis right now. What happened today does nothing but solidify the stance that we had taken back in October. And I know earlier the attorney that was on here talked about, wasn't sure the board had authority to do that. Well, what authority does the board have to do? And I will read here right out of the bylaws. The board of directors shall have all those powers and responsibilities given to a board of directors under corporate law, the CSEA bylaws, and these bylaws. In addition, through its adopted policy file, it may establish all policies and procedures deemed necessary or appropriate to the proper governance of the UCSW or to accomplish its purposes, including the establishment of any subordinate units, councils, locals, offices, or committees. So it's very clear in our own bylaws, and that's the old bylaws, that we have the ability to do this. Secondarily, my main concern is for saving the local and making sure our members are represented. And who better to represent it than 65 members of the board of directors who are directly connected to our members. Thank you.
Stephen Alari,
Stephen O'Leary, DLC 723 President. I urge adoption and affirmation of the actions taken in October. I've been in this union since 1995 when I started with the state, and been involved in leadership since 96 when I first got elected in my DLC. I also served as executive vice president for CSA in the overall. So I've been involved in this organization for quite a long time. I think it's important that we pass this motion. And, you know, we are going through a process with our president that
you're after me.
That we need to, you know, he's taken actions that I think are not in the best interest of our members. And, you know, in court, you never know. We could lose this court case. And then if we don't adopt these rules, we're right back where we are in the, we were up before the other day. And then we see what the actions are today. It's critical that we adopt these. We can always come back in the future and make changes, adjustments. And the chair that is adopted or that we have for the board, if people don't like what that person's doing, we can always move to remove the chair and select the new chair. It's like more like a parliamentary system there. So I urge the yes vote on this motion. It's really critical at this time because in court, we don't know we're going to win or not when dealing with Mr. Brown. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jason Sandoval.
If it's good afternoon, I would like to make a motion to amend this to delete any mention of a chair or chief executive, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's appropriate to have an unelected person serve and be in charge of our members' dues, the offices and the equipment and the property of Local 1000 and UCSW. They were not elected, and we are a democratic organization. We should, our bylaws should reflect that. It should strengthen the board of directors. All decisions should come from the board of directors and carried out by the president. It hasn't been done with Richard, and quite frankly, the previous president didn't do the same either. So let's move on. My motion is to strike out any mention of the board, chair of the board.
Your motion is out of order. I don't think we could just strike out the chair from that entire verbiage.
David, this parliamentarian, let me.
Yes, go ahead,
Scott. Motion is to ratify the action that was taken in October. That's essentially an up-down vote. If someone wants to make changes to it, they have two options. One, of course, is to introduce things at the next meeting to make whatever changes they want. The second would be to defeat the motion to ratify, and then, of course, they could introduce anything anew either now or at the next session. But right now, you're essentially talking an up-down vote on the motion to ratify.
Thank you, Scott.
Well, then I speak against this motion. It's undemocratic to carry forth that. I'm opposed to it.
Thank you, Jason. You've reached your 2-minute time limit. You could get back in line. Sorry, the parliamentarian, we might have taken some of your time. So if you want to finish that thought, go right ahead. Oh, he's already back on mute. Are you done, Jason?
Well, then can I move to table this motion indefinitely?
That's out of order, I believe. Scott, can you weigh in? Oh.
Motion is to table indefinitely.
A motion to table is out of order. He could move to postpone indefinitely. That's a debatable, it needs to be seconded. It's a debatable motion.
Then
And
I
if he
so,
wants to make that motion and it is seconded, then I would have everybody drop their hands and I'd start a new speaker list.
then I so forth move to table this motion indefinitely.
And just for the record, it's not table, it's
Von
postponed.
second.
Postpone, I'm sorry, postpone the verbiage. I'm-
Or actually,
see
just a
it.
second. One moment.
Yes,
Yeah, go
Irene
ahead.
would like us to take a caucus. She wants to talk to us.
Okay, Scott, you called for a moment. Irene is on the phone with Annika. She's asking for a caucus. So,
Can we take a 5-minute break?
so let's take a 5-minute break.
And Stephen Laurie has raised the point of order. Can we just ask what his point of order is in case I need to research it?
Sure. Go ahead, Stephen Alaria, you're recognized. One second, Stephen.
Yes, the point of orders was that the person making the motion had already spoken, and then he made the motion. Thank you.
We had, I believe that Scott and myself may have eaten some of his time. That's why I allowed him to go on. But I don't know, Scott, if you want to research that while we do a 5-minute caucus and come back.
Just stay on.
Everybody stay on, please. It's just gonna be,
I don't need to research it. Under Robert's rules of order, it is permitted to conclude your remarks by making a motion. We have a rule that does not permit you to move to close debate, but we don't prohibit other motions.
all right. And I did, okay. I think I saw a second from Van, but we would have to do the lowering of the hands and then re-raising. So
Okay, so first of all, just to let you know, I have a list of the hands that are currently raised. So, and there is another issue I want to take a quick research on. So when you come back, first of all, just so I know, was Jason Sandoval's motion seconded?
I did see a second from Vaughn.
Okay, so when we come back, we would go to the motion to postpone indefinitely. That is a debatable motion. We will start a new speakers list for that motion, but I have the current speakers list written down. So if the motion to postpone is defeated, we will go back to this speakers list.
Okay, sounds good. We'll reconvene in 5 minutes. Please don't go far.
We'll be back at 3:15, but don't turn off the lights.
5 minutes? 5 minutes, 3:10. Well, they'll put up the time because I think our clocks are a few minutes off. So don't go off, don't go far. All right. But we're back. So, okay, let's sorry to have to do this to the folks that are watching, I guess, in the general session, but we're gonna need to go back into executive session so the board can discuss some latest developments. And have Irene Green, Vice President, present them. So stay tuned, everybody, I guess, but we need to jump into executive session. So IT, can you please transition this off Zoom or off, I'm sorry, off the live